Alright guys, what I'm going to do for today's video is review Batman and Robin. Now, first off, the movie's not all terrible. The movie has a lot of things going for it in the production department, the set designs and whatnot. Like, they spent a lot of money on that. And I think that's where I get so frustrated with. Um, a lot of money went put into that movie. Like, at the end of every movie, there's the credits. And a lot of the times people get up, like, that's usually where people get up and they leave the movie, or unless it's like a Marvel movie, you sit there and you stay through it and you watch what happens after. But not a lot of people pay attention to what goes into making that movie. It's not just a bunch of names that people decided to put up randomly. It's, people that actually spend time, making that movie and making it either good or bad. Now, to watch that credits scene, the ending, like, all of those names went into making that movie. So when people sit there and they blame Joel Schumacher for making the movie, you made the worst movie ever. It's not necessarily his fault. Um, I'm certainly not, praising him by any means, because I think the guy, made a lot of bad decisions. But a lot of people put their time and effort into this movie, and the money is there. Like, you watch the movie, it's a well-made movie. It's just the script is crap. The script is crap. The actors decided not to do, I don't know what the actors were doing, but the money is there, set design wise. Like, they put a lot of money into it. Um, and to sit there and watch the credits scene, like, it makes me shake my head in disappointment, because it's like a lot of people put their livelihoods into what they're doing, and usually they don't do it for stuff that they don't believe in. You know, I feel bad for everybody in the I feel bad for everybody in that, the ending credits scene for that movie, because it's like, it's not their fault. I think what happened with this movie was a lot of people in the production decided, instead of making a really good movie, they decided to make a very safe movie, formumatic, I don't know, whatever that word is. They decided to make a movie that was a safe bet for them, something that would make, tons of money and make it back, instead of actually making a quality movie. Um, like, if you watch the movie, a lot of it is the same as Batman Forever. You have two villains. One of them works for Bruce Wayne. You have a sidekick that comes and has been, is orphaned and comes to Wayne Manor, and then by the end of the movie is, one of the sidekicks. You have a boss of one of the criminals who turns out, who gets killed by that criminal. And in Batman Forever, it was Jim Carrey's character who killed his boss, and Batman and Robin is Poison Ivy's character that killed her boss. It was they could have had a good movie there, and they chose not to do it. I don't know why they went that route, because to me it's very apparent that it's the same movie as Batman Forever, just not done quite as well. Um, and I hate it when people say that the movie is, like the Adam West camp, because to me, I think that undermines everything that Adam West did. Because when I watch the old Batman TV show, like, I see it what it is. I see camp. When I see this movie, like, that's not what they were going for. They weren't going for campiness. They were going for lighthearted action. Something that's going to make money. Like, the intentions weren't the same as what the old TV show was. So I don't think that it's fair to compare it to Adam West Batman, because it's not the same thing. It's not meant to be that way. Like, with the Adam West universe, like, they took themselves seriously. Um, it's just the fact that everything in the world wasn't serious, but they took themselves serious. In Batman Forever, it was almost like, look how, we're not going to take this shit seriously, so, why should the audience? And look how clever we are, wink, wink. Like, that's not, they should never realize that they're the butt of the joke. Like, if you want to see it done you want to do a movie like that, do The Naked Gun. That was a movie where they parodied stuff, but it was done right. They didn't realize that they were the butt of the joke. But in Batman and Robin, it almost seems like they go out of their way to make sure that that they know, that it's crap, and one of the things that I find sad about this movie is the fact that it's, to quote Joel Schumacher off the special features, this movie was very toyetic. um, they actually had the toy people come in and design the Batmobile, which to me, if you look at Batman from 1989, um, that Batmobile gets destroyed in Batman Returns. Then in Batman Forever, his Batmobile also gets destroyed. Um, the Batmobile in The Dark Knight Returns gets destroyed. Like the Batmobile always gets destroyed. The only Batmobile that never gets destroyed in the movies is the one in Batman and Robin. And that's the one, like, it looks the most flimsy. Like, it looks like like, the spinning thing on the engine, and it looks poorly done. Like, I don't understand, like, why is that one? Like, destroy that one, you know? It looks like if you throw a rock inside the spinny deal, like, it would destroy the engine, Like, it's just the whole movie, like, you could tell that it wasn't, people that cared about movies making this film. It was toy makers that wanted to sell a bunch of toys, and I'm, in that regard, like, I'm very appreciative to, everybody kind of giving this movie the middle finger, because you should never make a movie just to sell toys, That's not the way you do things. Like, it's one thing if the toy is a byproduct of the movie, but the movie shouldn't be a byproduct of the toy. That's just not the way to do things. But the casting, I think, was one of the things also that was wrong with this movie. Like, you had a lot of decent talent, like a lot of good talent went into this movie, with the exception of Alicia Silverstone. But even then, I think that, like, she's a lot better than anything that they gave her. Um, you had Arnold Schwarzenegger, who was good for action movies. Personally, I think he should have been Bane, an intellectual Bane. Like, I could have seen Schwarzenegger pull off, a kind of a Tom Hardy-ish type Bane in this movie. Like, that would have worked pretty damn well, and I think Arnold could have pulled that off. One-liners or not, because that's what the guy is known for, is, his one-liners. But I think he could have done pretty well with Bane. Jeep Swenson, the guy who actually played Bane in this movie, like, I heard the guy died. I don't know if I think it was around the time that this movie was released, or maybe it was a little before. Um, I think that's sad, because this movie, like we knock this movie, but this guy thought the movie was great. Like, he was excited to be playing Bane, a character that was so important in the comics. And I find that really, it's heartbreaking, because it's like, I look at this and I'm like, that's not Bane. This is the dude in a fucking monkey suit, going, monkey step or bomb, like, it's just like, this is not Bane. Like, why do you guys keep giving us characters that aren't, that are the character in name only, you know? And talk about, characterization. Commissioner Gordon, like, the guy looks like Chief O'Hara in this movie, and I don't, like, the guy is so fucking useless. It's not even funny. Like I've said, I've said in my Batman movie review that he was used best in that movie, Batman from 1989. And every movie he just seems to get, more dumb. And this movie, it's like he gets pissed off at Batman and Robin for not stopping Bane and Poison Ivy and Mr. Freeze, and it's like, dude, why don't you fucking do your own job? Like, I would slug him in the face so fucking hard, especially since you got Robin that's bitching the whole time, It's like, this movie is so full of crap, it doesn't know what it wants to be. It just knows that it wants to sell toys, But the characterization for all the characters, it just seemed really odd to me. Like, you have Bruce Wayne, who's dating this Elle McPherson's character, and I forget what her Julia Madison, I think. I'm not sure what her name was. Like, she's such a forgettable character. But like, he's supposedly so in love with this lady And I mean, she's sitting there talking about marriage, and he's fighting with Robin for poison ivy. Like if I was Robin, I'd been like, dude, you're fucking dating already. Like, what do you want poison ivy for? Like everybody, whatever scene happens, like they forget about it in the next scene. And it's conveniently forgotten. And it's like if this had been the Nolan verse, like those things would have been addressed. Like, dude, you're dating someone. Like, no, this shit wouldn't even happen. So it's like I don't know what their point was on that whole thing. Like, it could have been work. I believe that you can make something work as long as you make it work. But this movie does not work on so many levels. Like, it's not funny, it's not clever, it's well done production wise, but they're trying to sell toys, not make a movie. So it's so sad. And then miscasting. Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze. Like, that is so miscast. Like, you don't sound like Mr. Freeze. You don't talk like Mr. Freeze. Do you have emotions or don't you have emotions? Because you're sitting there crying because of your wife, but yet you don't, the pheromone dust doesn't work on you because you don't have emotions. Like, it's simple things like that where, dude, you don't make sense, man. Like, you can't break your rules of continuity just because you want, to make a better story, sort of say, or just get yourself through your own plot. But I mean, the thing that also bothers me about, the characterization of Mr. Freeze is you have a wife, yet you have a girlfriend in your secret lair, like, and they paid that lady a lot of money. Like, she's a famous, actress, like, why does that character need to be there? Like, what relevance does she have? She doesn't serve the plot. Why are you paying for her to be there? But the whole movie was just ridiculously made. Robin. I the only thing with Robin, like, I got excited. Like, I saw the red costume where it's all black except for like the red Nightwing type, uh, look to him, and I got excited. I was like, all right, cool. Maybe he's gonna turn into Nightwing in this, And dude, Robin bitch the whole time, and like to sit there and say, yeah, my favorite character is in this movie, and then all he does is whine. Like, I kind of get where he's coming from. Like, dude, you make a new Batmobile, and your Batmobile has like one seat in it. Like, I'd get pretty pissed off too. Especially if I had to ride on a motorcycle, and then you shut my shit off on me. Like, I'd get pretty pissed off too. So I see where the dude's coming from. But flip side of the coin, it's like, they're not partners. They don't learn anything from each other. Like, the whole aspect of, trust me, Dick, in the Batcave, like, the whole thing is just stupid to me. Like, you've given him no reason to trust you, but yet he's going to do it. Well, why? Real people don't act like anybody in this movie because they don't think about what they're doing. Like, if it had been anyone else, they'd have been like, fuck you, dude. Like, you've treated me like shit this whole time. Like, we're not partners. Fuck it, I'm done. And that would have been great for a Nightwing spinoff, or, to do something, that way. But they didn't go that route. And everything's all wrapped up in a nice little bow at the end. And, of course, let's not have, let's have the second child, that's coming to Wayne Manor not go to school and so they can be a superhero. Like, this is the second time this shit's happened. Like, why? Like, none of it makes sense. It's just to tell the same story they've already told from Batman Forever, and done poor. Alicia Silverstone, I was so excited to see her as cast as Batgirl, because I had a huge crush on her. She was coming off of Clueless at the time, and like, I had a big crush on her. And to see her in this, like, it really bothered me how they had her be the niece of Alfred. I'm like, Alfred doesn't have a niece. And okay, whatever. That's fine, I guess. I mean, wouldn't it be more interesting to actually give Gordon something to do in this film and have her be Gordon's daughter like it is in the comics? Alright, whatever. Like, they even named her Barbara. Like, if you're not going to have her be the same character, why give her the same name? Like, it was just a slap in the face to the people who actually cared about quality in this film. Like, they just, again, everything was, get us from A to B. And that's all it was. Another thing that bothered me with Alicia Silverstone, two things actually that bothered me with her. Like, I don't mind the acting so much because it's like, it is what it is. Like, the movie's a piece of crap. So, you're going to get what you're going to get. But one, this lady's been overseas in England, I think it was, and like, where's her accent? Like, if she's been over there for so long, like, you're gonna get some type of accent, even if it's a slight one, you're gonna get that. I know because I've got family that's down south, and when I go there for a while and see them, like, you kind of pick up on some of that. Not saying she should be, thick accent, but there should be something there, but it's not. And then the other thing that bothered him, she didn't want to have to learn the accent, or she couldn't learn the accent. I'm not sure which it is. But it's like, if your character requires you to do that, they're paying you a ton of money. You better fucking do that. And if you're a producer and you're not making your actor do something that they need to do, that their character needs to do, then you need to fix that and find a different actor to be the character that you need, because that person's not dedicated to the role. And that's what pisses me off so much about it is I thought she would have been a fine fit, even though I thought the elements that were involved were stupid. But it's like, if your actor doesn't even take you seriously, then why the fuck should I go see your movie? And that's what really makes me mad. Is like, you spent all your money, you put time and effort into making a bad movie, and you didn't care. So yeah, I'm really happy that karma kind of bit him in the ass, and nobody, they didn't make as much as they thought they were going to. Forgive my rant there. But the second thing that bothers me with Alicia Silverstone is she didn't want to put the cowl on, which is why I'm wearing this, because people who are dedicated fucking wear the bat cowl if you're fucking dedicated to what you want to do. But she didn't want to wear it. Like, there's one scene when they put on their ice armor, which I'm not even going to go into that, but like, she has it on for, I guess, a protective helmet, and then she tosses it off as soon as she hops off the bike. The only thing she has after that is just the eye things, and she has that for both when she gets her regular costume and her ice costume. So it's like, Batgirl doesn't have a Robin mask. Batgirl has a cowl. Why couldn't you have a cowl? And it's because she, and God's honest truth, it's because she didn't want to get her hair messed up. How much money did you make off this? Because I guarantee you made more off this movie than I've made my entire life. And I would fucking put on a cowl. Hell, I'm doing it now. And I'm not even getting paid for any of this shit. I've only got like 100 and some subscribers. And I'm more dedicated than you were to what you were doing. So for that, fuck you. I really hope, I'm glad your career failed, because that really pisses me off, because I love all of these characters, and I feel like you just didn't give a shit. And I feel like nobody in this movie gave a shit about what they were doing. They were just there to collect the paycheck. So, the dialogue was bad, the graphics were bad, the design sets were bad. Like, you got statues that Mr. Freeze is shooting through so he can hit it with his car and drive through. Dude, shit doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Like, when I sit there and watch something on screen, like, we all go to the movie to suspend our disbelief. We all go there to kind of step outside of reality and be like, I want to be involved in this storyline. I want to be involved in these characters. I was 17, I think, at the time when this movie came out. And I sat there and I was like, within the first 5 minutes, I was so ready to walk out of that fucking movie. Because it's like, you got Gordon, who's talking to Batman on his, radio in the Batmobile and whatnot. And I'm like, well, all right, whatever. And then you got Robin, who's riding alongside him on the Redbird cycle. And again, I'm like, oh, all right, whatever. That's okay. All right, that's how they want to do it. I'm, of course, deleting the memory of the butt shots that they made both Batman and Robin do, and the nipple shots that both Batman and Robin were forced to do in that. And the crotch shots of both characters, which, again, like, I'm sitting there going, dude, what the fuck is this? Like, this is a kid's movie. Like, why are we looking at their crotch and their butt and their nipples? Like, is this porn? Did we go to the wrong movie? I mean, if it's porn, I'll gladly watch this, but I don't think I paid money for this. Like, this, I don't think so. But the thing that really bothered me, and this is what told me that the movie was just going to go south, was when, Freeze is doing his thing and, stopping the police that are, completely inadequate and thus need Batman and Robin. But Batman crashes down through the glass, lands on a dinosaur head, and says, "Hi, Freeze, I'm Batman." "Hi, Freeze, I'm Batman." that has got to be the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. Like when Michael Keaton said, to those crooks on the rooftop, the first time you heard him say it, he's sitting there and he's like, I'm Batman. That was awesome. Like, that was just, like, you believed it. You were just like, holy shit, shit's going down. When you hear George Clooney in his George Clooney voice go, hi, Freeze, I'm Batman. Like, he even does the George Clooney head bob. Even though the neck won't let his head move very well, you can still see his cowl kind of bobble doing the George Clooney head bob. Like, and I was just sitting there going, what is this? Why would you announce it like that? Who else would it be? You're a 6-foot dude dressed up in a Batman costume. Do you really have to announce that? Seriously? I mean, especially since at this point in Batman's career, you're so well known you're doing gala events. Like, come on, dude. Like, you're full of yourself. Like, it was so irritating to see that. Because, again, this is the same guy that in the very first movie stopped Vicky Vale from having his picture taken. Stole her camera so she couldn't give the shit to the police. And this is the guy that's sitting there announcing it, having gala events, letting everybody take his picture. It's like, dude, no, Batman doesn't act like this. Like, and again, like, it wouldn't be bad if Actually, there's no way to put it. It is just bad. Like, there's no way around it. It's just fucking bad. When I heard that George Clooney was going to be Batman, this was around the time that From Dusk Till Dawn had come out to rent on video. And I had rented it with, or at least from my perspective, I don't know how long it had been out, but when I heard that George Clooney was going to be Batman, like, you saw everywhere in parentheses From Dusk Till Dawn. So I was like, oh, okay, well, let me go down to my video store and I'll rent this movie and I'll see what it is. I watched it, and the way he portrayed his character in that, like, badass. I thought, man, if he plays Batman anything close to this, like, we're in for a treat. And so when I went into Batman and Robin, like, I had seen all the pictures on the internet, and the internet was still kind of, to me, it was new at the time, because the only time you could really go to the internet was at school, and it was after school, and so I would go there, and I would take my disc with me, and I would save all my pictures on that disc, and then I'd go home and, put them on my computer and sprawl through Batman comic pictures and everything, just, get excited for, what Star Trek or what, Batman movie was coming out. But, I sat there looking at all the pictures, and I'm like, well, this movie looks kind of odd, but, it's behind the scenes stuff. You can't really get a sense of it. You really shouldn't judge a book by its cover. But with this, it's like, oh, dude. So again, when I went to watch From Dusk Till Dawn, I was like, I really hope this is the route they go with the Batman character, because this would be a badass character to have, the Seth character from that movie. And it certainly wasn't anything we got. Even though the Seth character is very George Clooney-ish, that was badass as opposed to what we got, which was dumbass, So, I don't know. Like, my review of the movie, I know I sound like a fanboy just bitching, and a lot of people jump on this movie to, because it's, the popular thing to hate the movie. Like, I don't hate the movie, and the fact that, like, we had a promenade-a-thon on my group called The Promenade, where we all, we pinned a post to the top of the page, and we would all, we all at the same time popped in the movie, in our own DVD players or, Blu-ray players, and we would, we watched it all at the same time, and then we would just comment, and it was fun to watch, all of us kind of nitpick and laugh and laugh and laugh, and for that perspective, like, it's not bad. Or if you got, like, some friends that are drunk, to pop in a movie, because they can sit there and watch it and go, oh, Batman, oh yeah, because they don't know any different. So from that regard, like, it's not a bad movie. I don't think this is the movie. Again, looking at all those people at the credits scene, like, I don't think all of those people thought this was the movie that they were making. I thought they really went into it thinking that this might be something pretty different, pretty special. And I don't think this was the movie that they intended to make. I think this is the perfect example of why a movie studio shouldn't get involved too much, with their own product. Like, they really should trust people to do what they're supposed to do and do best. Because a lot of people give Batman Forever a lot of shit because, it started the lighthearted trend. But Batman Forever was a really good movie, especially compared to this. But I think these two movies get kind of lumped in together because they're from the same time of same type of era. Because they made Batman Forever in '95, they made Batman and Robin in '97, so there hadn't been a lot of time now between Batman 1989 and Batman Returns, which was in '92. That was 3 years, and then between Batman Returns, Batman Forever, again 3 years. '92 and '95. So it hadn't been too long. So people, I think, lump these two in together, and I think that's not fair because again, this is a movie that this is just a retread, and it's not a very good one. So, and I don't think, again, looking at all the people in the credits, I don't think this is the movie they wanted to make. So, write down your opinions. If you loved it, if you hated it, what was your experience with it? Let me know. Click, subscribe, share. I don't know. I like conversation, so let me know what you guys think. But keep on geeking on, guys.